Hey everyone, this is Jared, and I'm here with Brad, his special guest. He's a guy who has played WoW since the very beginning, actually. He does not play anymore, though, and I kind of wanted to ask him a few questions. One, Brad, do you remember why you started playing WoW, and can you compare it to why you left? Like, what's the reason why you started, and what's the reason why you left?
Well, I don't remember exactly why I started playing, but I do remember the circumstances of discovering the game from other friends, and they were looking forward to it. Some of them were playing EverQuest and stuff, and the outlook of WoW was looking nice, so I've been playing a few other games and stuff beforehand, but WoW looked like a big jump, so I started playing that game, and um, geez, this is difficult.
Oh, that's all right. What? Why do
um,
you? Why do? Why did you stop playing WoW though? I mean, what was the difference that made you stop playing?
I guess the the game more so for me was more about learning uh, what was there to offer. I pretty much devoured the information, except for maybe lore. I didn't care as much for that. But learning all the stuff about the world, the system, stuff to locate, it was very enjoyable learning everything, and I got to meet some interesting people and raided with lots of different groups, and it just kind of got old after a while. And like, what has it been? Nearly 8 years or whatever. Um, yeah, it's been quite a journey, but it hasn't held my interest as of late.
Now, do you think the game is too easy now? Is that why, or it's just not, really exciting anymore? I mean, does that have anything to do with the difficulty of the game, or is it just the game itself is just kind of boring?
Um, I think it is a little bit more on the harder side as far as raid content, um, but more so it's the people, the community. Um, you can get a wide range of people that are just idiots and don't know anything or know everything and hate your guts, that kind of thing. It's not a good atmosphere to be around.
So, that being said, what kind of things have you seen possibly in Warlords of Draenor that are exciting to you, or do you just still think it's kind of blah? Like, is it enough for someone who's played the game as many years as you have to come back and play it, or is it more like kind of the same old situation, or what do you think?
Well, it seems like it's going to be a good uh, expansion for people who enjoy the lore. I personally don't care as much about it, but it seems like it's going to be pretty interesting seeing um, all the clans on Draenor. But I think they have probably passed up a lot of other better ideas in favor of this one. They certainly could have picked many different stories, backstories to focus on. Certainly, Miss Appendary was a really odd one, even considering Pandarans were a joke from the beginning, and then they just ran with it.
Oh, but they made us try to, or at least try to make us believe that they wanted pandas all along, and we wanted them too. I remember that at the BlizzCon. I think it was at the BlizzCon when were talking about it, and they were like basically trying to make it sound like something people had wanted for years and stuff. And I was like, I never heard anyone say they wanted a panda before.
Yeah, it's kind of strange how they take these ideas and run with them. When they really should understand If they are going to say that kind of things like, oh, everybody's wanted Pandarans, they should really pay attention to where those ideas come from, because there's been plenty of bad changes over over the lifespan of the game, where they have changed something and it was completely awful. Why didn't they take feedback then to change the game then? When they're making this huge decision on an expansion on, oh, people wanted them. So I just think it's kind of strange that they can pick and choose what they want to take as feedback from the community.
Yeah, I don't even know where they're getting that feedback from. I mean, on the forums, I'm a pretty regular forum troll, and I don't really remember that many incidents of people wanting pandas. I mean, people have been asking for ogres. They were asking for goblins before goblins, but they're asking for ogres, and I've heard of ethereals and high elves finally for the alliance. But I didn't remember one time I actually saw someone say a Pandaren or a panda in general. But I don't know. I guess that's part of why I'm not really sure how they figure out what the expansions are going to be. I think, like you said, Warlords definitely sounds good for a lore perspective, for a person who likes the lore a lot more than Mists of Pandaria, because that was like completely out of left field. It seemed like almost seemed like a different game. Do you see anything in the Warlords of Draenor, like feature-wise, that looks interesting, like the garrisons, or what do you think of the stat squish or any of that stuff? I mean, any of that stuff sound good to you or bad to you?
I think the garrison idea is a good one. Of course, people have wanted it for a long time, so working it into the game is going to be good for their overall player base. But they certainly got to do it right. I've never played games that really had that kind of feature, so I don't really know of any great examples. But they certainly did a good job with the game when it first came out, but they'll really have to explore and test all that features to make sure it doesn't seem like too much of an effort, like daily quest to have your minions go mine or find engineering stuff. That sounds just like a daily quest hub. I hope it isn't like that at all, but that's what it's sounding like. Of course, all the other commentary is, when they're putting out these posts about the BlizzCon stuff. You mentioned item squish. There's a comment where it's like, the item squish is back. It's got an exclamation mark. Like they're happy to do this. I don't see it as something exciting to talk about. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. I mean, I guess people are afraid of big numbers or something, because when they were presenting it on the live stream I was watching earlier, people were cheering, and I'm like, why does it matter if you're hitting for have a 100k crit or a 10k crit? Like, I don't even understand how that's a big deal. Like, how is that really new and exciting to change it? I mean, I don't know. Like, that to me isn't really a feature. That's just like them tinkering with the game. So it doesn't really make sense to me why that's like such a big deal. But I mean, I don't care either way. If we do the same damage, it's just a different number, I'm fine with it. But it is funny the things that they do try to change, as you had put before, change just to change. Have something to say they're doing almost. So last thing I wanted to ask you though, we used to raid together and all that kind of stuff, and we used to have kind of a dysfunctional at times group depending on the week. How well do you think the raid system is now compared to, say, Cataclysm, when there was no flex? Do you think that the future of raiding is going in the right direction, or what do you think about it?
Well, first of all, I should say I really haven't participated in the raid content for this expansion. My last real experience has been uh, earlier Cataclysm, and so I have done some LFR in Mists of Pandaria, but I really, was basically doing it just to, try to gear up a character and stuff, and I really didn't uh, find it all that exciting. It's definitely a lot better if you're, with a group. I think that the flex rating, although I haven't done it, is a very good idea. I do like the fact that they're, putting the flex rate into the normal structure of the raid system. I think that's a very good idea for them. Um, and and that it will definitely improve the ability of players to get together and do stuff with random numbers of people available for raids, and the fact that they're making it a little easier is probably gonna help out quite a bit as well.
Yeah, all I can think of is it sucks for us because we had the problems of having too many usually, or and that created problems with having to take people out and make them sit, and then they got mad for sitting. And of course, Kata content was a big jump raid wise in the difficulty compared to Wrath. So, had we had this system with the easier content, our guild, for example, our rating probably, I don't know if it would be doing right now, but we probably would have a lot smoother days. So I think that it definitely is in a step in the right direction with that. So very, very happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of our problems could have been solved with the flex raid feature. It just came too late for us. Definitely helps take some of the burden off of the raid leaders with their planning and such. Definitely a good thing to utilize. This flex structure.
Definitely agree. Well, thanks, Brad, for your time, and catch you around.